Today I will let you in on one of my absolute most successful recipes whenever I go to a party or potluck and people basically beg me for the recipe. It's a rice salad and it's just so delicious it blows people's mind. You need cooked and cooled rice, some ham, mayonnaise, sugar, soy sauce, onion, bell pepper and Mandarin oranges. And I will make only half their usual recipe because my husband is on a business trip and it's just Lilith and I here, so we can't eat that much. But the regular recipe really feeds a lot of people, so just keep that in mind. I'm just doing half today. So the first thing to do is to dice everything. And I want everything to be really, really tiny. So that is kind of like trying to make everything the size of the rice corn, a little bit larger though. Same with the onion. I'll dice it really, really small. Okay, next I will drain the mandarins. And I will need the juice a little later. I could leave the Mandarin oranges in their current shape and size, but I like to also slice these a little bit. And this goes right in there. And then I'm adding the rice. When you're cooking the rice, I did not cook it with any salt. And I used a rice cooker actually. You don't have to do that, but we eat a lot of rice, so at some point I decided I'll just get a rice cooker, and I'm so glad I have it. I leave a link to that rice cooker in the video description in case you're curious what I'm using there. So I'm mixing this. And when you cook the rice and you let it cool, just stir it once when it's finished cooking and when you let it cool down. All right. I would not recommend cooking the rice the day before. That would make the rice get hard and grainy again. You should really cook it the same day. So I cook it in the morning and let it cool until noon, and then I make the salad. So now the ham. If you don't want to eat meat, you can of course leave it out, but this gives this recipe a lot of important taste. So I recommend, if you're not a vegetarian, that you really use the ham. And for a full recipe, I would use the entire package, but since I'm making only half, I'm also only using half. Okay. And again, I cut this as tiny as I can to sort of match the size of the rice corns. And now I'm making the sauce that comes into the salad. So I have the mayonnaise. For this recipe, I personally like the Duke mayonnaise, but that's just my preference. So I add the soy sauce and the sugar. And then I'm also adding some of the juice. And how much juice you're adding depends a little bit on your taste. So these orange mandarins are sweetened, so there is quite a bit of sugar in there. And if that's too much for you, you can just use less of it. I usually use a little more of it because I like it, and also the rice tends to soak in a little bit of the liquid. And I whisk this all together now. Let me taste. Delicious. This is a really, really good mixture. And it's a bit fruity. And it's hard to describe the taste. It's a bit sweet, it's a bit fruity. It's somewhat refreshing. Yeah. You have to taste it. There's no way around it. So you really, really should try this recipe. And you see this rather small amount of rice in the end leads to quite a bit of salad. And this is just half the recipe. So depending on the size of the crowd you're going to please, you should think about doubling the recipe or maybe not. Okay. Of course, now if this is soaking a little bit, it will increase in taste. The rice will take in more of the taste of the sauce, but already now it's so good. Really, really, really good. I feel like there should be a little more salt and a little bit of pepper in it. And the onions will increase the taste after a while. So if you put this in the fridge for an hour, after that it should be just amazing. It's already so good. I love the salad. Yeah, this is also a salad for people who live gluten-free. Now this is a really easy salad. It tastes amazing. As I said, I've never failed with this. It's always a success and people love it and everybody wants to have the recipe. I hope you try this. I hope you can resist the urge to add other things like corn or pickles or anything that would really destroy the taste here. Just trust me on this one and make it the way I made it. If you feel like you want to add something else, you can still do it, but try it first the way I did it. So this brings me to the end of this video. I hope you like it. I hope you try it. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit the bell button so you get information every time I post a new video. Thank you for watching.